was a little late.
Well, you know what? I'm late for this, but we ain't gonna talk about the stuff you late for. So just come on, let's talk about
Hey,
it.
besties. Welcome back to Besties of Birmingham. I'm
Yes.
excited. I am your host, LaTanya Seals.
And I am your co-host, Cicely Hope. And we're so excited that you decided to join us on today. But we want to make sure that you like, you comment, and you subscribe. We need you to make sure that you letting us know that you with us, right? So make sure you comment.
And let me say this. Let me just go ahead and say thank you. Because our subscription is really up. Because I think we got like over 500 people. And I'm proud of that.
Oh, yeah.
We have had to stop ministry.
Yeah.
Children. And we still ain't 100% where we need to be. We found some hiccups today and some flaws. But I'm really confident that Besties of Birmingham is going to be a household
Absolutely.
name one day.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited. But welcome to the party, y'all. We having a party today. We having a party.
So what are we partying?
It's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. So the day is the 16th, and tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day all over the world. Even in Chicago, they turn all the river. They turn the big river green, and just turn it off. So we celebrating. I got us a cake.
So let me ask you some, Seals. Are you Irish?
No. But I ain't vote for the president either, but I celebrate the president.
Because you know what? Any opportunity you get for us to celebrate, I'm like, wait a minute, what are we doing green for? And then you done went and found a whole green shirt.
It's St. Patrick's Day, yeah. Oh, God. And look at our cake. Look at our cake. You got to see the cake. It says, hold on. Besties of Birmingham. So
a whole green cake, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to eat some cake.
Is it green on the inside?
No, it's actually strawberry on the inside.
Okay.
So I tried to do a little bit of what you want. But
okay.
Anyway, St. Patrick's Day really started out, Cicely, as a Christian holiday. I
know. I've read about it.
Okay, well, tell us.
Okay, I read. Let me tell you what I read about. So, St. Patrick's Day spiritually commemorates the patron saint of Ireland, marking his death as a heavenly birthday and celebrating his role in bringing Christianity to the nation in the 5th century. It focuses on faith, the Trinity symbolized by the shamrock, which is on her shirt.
Watch it now.
And missionary sacrifices. Last thing, St. Patrick's is believed to have used the 3-leaf shamrock to explain the concept of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit to the Irish people.
Yes. So
all right,
Seals. We need these shirts for church.
Yeah.
We need these shirts for church.
Yeah, I'll borrow yours then.
Yeah,
let me just borrow yours. I'm just happy you didn't get me one.
Yeah,
because I'm telling you, that's just too much.
One.
Yeah. I feel good.
But I think for real, I all jokes aside, I am a big celebrant. I like to celebrate anything, especially when I read it and I found out that it had spiritual background.
Well, see, I never knew that. So just informing me on that and me looking it up, I was like, wow, I never knew that. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Can I tell you the truth? All I ever knew is that people drink like green beer, and they go party and get drunk on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, you know, we Christians don't took everything and turned it around. We have done that, from the Maces. I remember when I was a little girl, the organization called Mason was a brotherhood.
Oh yeah,
you know
I remember
what I'm saying?
that.
And if you was a Mason, it had like high respect in the community. Well, that ain't got the big name. Now they trying to figure out whether the Greek, whether the AKs, they have done great things for, the communities and all the Greek things. I just think people mess anything up.
Yeah.
Just like we don't took this and we're going to be drinking Irish beer. I'm not going to drink no Irish beer, but they going to serve Irish beer. I think even being in church. Now, you know what I'm saying? We as believers, sometimes we focus on the wrong thing and we turn good things into entertainment. And so, it just kind of mess up. Which brings us to our topic, since we're talking about something on a spiritual background. I want to talk about today on two people, two besties, same position, different location, but eliminate competition. Two besties, two positions, same position, different location, but eliminating competition. And I want to talk about a little bit about, everybody know what we do. You the co-pastor at Lighthouse. I'm the co-pastor at Doers of the Word. And a lot of times, just like, St. Patrick's, people just take religious stuff so far that they mess it up. And now we got churches against churches. Like how many members
Definitely
you
competition.
can get. And I think it's almost like they in competition. Like we got the oil over here. Y'all ain't got the oil over there.
Absolutely.
Our praise team is bigger. Your praise team is smaller. All the way down to buildings. My building, I got a dome. Y'all got a little bit of, room. And you rent a room out. So I'm trying to figure out what happened. Back in the days, it was nothing like this. I think the more God has blessed us, the more we have been embraced with big churches. You know what I'm saying? When you think about all the mega ministries now in the city, when I was a little girl, it was not mega ministries like this.
Okay.
It was like the popping ministries were Cathedral of the Cross, which is a predominantly white congregation. Then you always had,
it was more of the Catholic churches that were bigger.
Yes, but you always had the MTC, More Than Conquerors. You had the Faith Chapel. But now we got so many mega ministries that I think the spirit of competition has leaked in the ministry. And I want to talk a little bit about, we can't control what they do, but how do we control what not allow competition to, because I tell them straight up, if you think I'm gonna compete, if you think I'm gonna throw shade, if you think, I'm not doing that with Lighthouse. Not only is that my best friend church, that's my children's church, and at the end of the day, that's that's our sister kingdom, that's our sister church over there. So how do we eliminate that from your standpoint?
So I'll answer that, but let me say this. I think the spirit of competition among ministries, whether mega or mini or micro, many is what people would consider the level that our churches is on. We're many. Okay. Micro is the churches that might have about 12 to 20 members. That's micro. So it's micro, mini, and then
I don't think you would be many, because so a micro starts at
micro is probably about 20 something, maybe about 20, 30 members. Okay. So and then there's mini. Mini is both of our churches, because we're definitely not a mega. So it's mega, it's mini, and then it's micro. Mini is in the middle. Okay. And so I believe it's always been competition, even in the mini and the micro churches. We just didn't experience until we got in this position that we're in.
Okay.
Because I just think competition is from the enemy. And so I just think it's always been that way. But one of the things is that for me, and I know you'll answer, what helps you in not bringing competition in our relationship, well, both of us being co-pastors, both of us we're in same position, different location. I'll say it all the time, and I mean this. I count my blessings more than I count yours.
That's good.
When you start focusing more on what somebody else got, more than what God is giving you, it'll cause you to get in competition. It'll cause the spirit of jealousy to be birthed. I'm grateful. I know you blessed. I know Doers of the Word is popping. I know Doers of the Word have great sound. I mean, I look at y'all stuff on live, I be like, man, I just shut our whole live down. Oh my God. I look at how, y'all do stuff. Y'all do amazing stuff over there. But then I also look at what Lighthouse is doing. And so it's like, and then me, I think I've learned this. You said you gave me this, but I know you didn't, and maybe you said it before, but I remember in prayer, God gave me, he said, it's okay to be a copycat. Just copy the right cat.
God reminded you of something.
No, you never said that to me. No, you didn't. You didn't say that. But at the end of the day, the things that I know work for you, I copy it. I'll come over. My thing is to answer that question without going all into all of that. I count the blessings Lighthouse got over there more than I count the blessing that doers of the word
That's
got
good.
over there.
That's good.
And that's what keeps me out of competition, comparing, looking at what y'all doing compared what y'all got compared to we got. That's what keeps me. And I'm the same thing with you. I don't ever have to. I don't think it's ever been conversations about, hey, you know, what doers of the word is doing compared to what we're doing over there. And then I realized this. What God has assigned for doers of the word is not Lighthouse assignment. So a lot of times God has, if he wanted every church to fulfill the same purpose, which I know the purpose is to save souls, redeem people that are lost and all that, right? But I know our ministry is more of outreach, feeding the community, doing things like that. You know, y'all are more of a witnessing church, you know, and y'all
Family oriented.
yeah, yes, marriages and stuff like that. I'm not saying that's not what we are, but that's not what God has really called Lighthouse to specialize in, right? And so I understand that there's different, you know, missions for each church. And so it definitely, that's why it keeps me out of, I know y'all an amazing church. And I know we're an amazing church too. But even though y'all might have more numbers than we have, your location, I'm just going to be honest about things. I like y'all location better. Y'all facility is really nice. Y'all have more members than we have. What keeps me is at the end of the day is God is still blessing Lighthouse.
That's right.
Lighthouse is still,
right.
I call it popping. Lighthouse is still doing its thing.
I think
you know?
what helps me, what eliminates the competition for me, is I understand it's not mine.
That's good.
I don't understand how you compete to get something that don't even belongs to you.
That's good.
That doers of the word don't belongs to me. So
That's
whether
good.
God make it small or he make it big,
Yeah.
it's not on me. If he give us a little money, he gives a lot of money, it's not on me. Whatever God do for God's house don't make me feel bad, don't make me look better. That's what eliminates competition, not just from Lighthouse, but from, because I have a lot of friends that have ministries. You got Pastor Dixon at Kingdom. I got a friend, Pauletta, that's at TPC. I believe TPC purpose is purpose. Man, they got some of the most educated people over there. They thrive. You know what I'm saying? But what eliminates competition
Absolutely.
with me is it don't matter how it look. If I did the very best I got, this on God.
Absolutely.
This ain't my house. It's like, you know, my husband out there competing with the neighbor with the yard. They cut their grass, then you out there cutting your grass. They get a palm tree, now you want a palm tree in the bigger your yard. You got to eliminate that off of ministry.
Absolutely.
Because when you start competing, you start owning it.
Yeah.
You start
That's
taking it
good.
personal.
Yeah.
You start making this about you and you know, seeing that the ministry reflects you. No. This ministry is designed to reflect God.
Yeah.
And I make sure I keep that mindset. Now, it's important that people understand that it would never be no competition with me, period. But especially with my bestie and where my friend is.
Yeah.
Because it don't matter what you do. It don't matter how many times y'all do it. My goal is to always push you. And I think for real, you will tell whether people in competition with you when they can help you.
Oh, that's good.
You'll tell when people are in competition with you, when you can help people with no screens attached.
Yeah.
When I want to make sure that Lighthouse make it.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to think that I'm giving you too much.
Yeah.
Because if I give you too much, you might look different
yes,
than me.
Better than you.
You'll tell when
yeah.
people for real are in competition with you.
Absolutely.
It was a ministry in the city that bought a big building not too long ago, and another ministry I read gave them $50,000.
Okay.
And I said, my God, they skipped every grant process. And their ministry sold it. Faith Chapel is known for that. And that's why Faith Chapel is so blessed the way they do. But I really do believe that the spirit of competition is very, very thick in ministry.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate to see that. I really do. I hate to see that among the men and women of God.
Oh, yeah.
But that's one of the reasons how I keep this thing at the flow level. I don't do anything for the church that I feel like would make me look bigger. It ain't mine.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, it happened. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? If we get big, we get big. We get money, we get
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
The goal is to do the mission.
That's
and whatever
it.
come
That's
along,
it.
it come along. So you really can't jump credit
That's
for
it.
something don't belongs to you.
That's it.
You
That's
know what
it.
I'm saying? So I'm excited about that. But what else you got?
I mean you summed it up. I mean, for your reason and my reason, I hate it so much because a lot of times in relationships die in ministry. Relationships die that could have been great behind competition in ministry.
Oh, absolutely.
I just, I could just think of things like where I didn't even want to tell people stuff I was going through. This was before you even became a co-pastor. I don't even know. Yeah. But because I didn't really have people to talk to about what I was going through, and I knew it would be I knew it was competition. I knew it was competition between ministries, and I didn't want people to know what I was going through
in ministry.
In ministry, yes. So that's
wow.
because that's what we're talking about. And so you weren't in ministry, and so bottom line, I didn't really have people to really talk to that was on the level I was on.
Wait a
as
minute,
a
what
pastor.
you mean? I was
You-
on this
you-
level, and you was up here.
You weren't a co-pastor at that time.
But even though I was in ministry, you
Yeah.
needed somebody.
Yeah, it was somebody
That's
that
just
was
a title, girl. You better come
At the
on.
end of the day, and let me say this. You got to be honest. It's some things shifted in your life when you got to position as co-pastor.
Oh, yeah.
That you didn't experience when you was a minister.
Called dogged out.
Yeah. So it was some things that I experienced being a co-pastor that I didn't feel that I could call people in the city with because of the spirit of competition.
Yeah.
So I didn't need you to know what I was going
So
through.
when you say that, and I hope this doesn't open up again, when you say I didn't want them to know, because sometimes, to be honest, in our role, and this gonna open up a whole, you get sometimes mistreated, and sometimes it can be embarrassing to tell somebody.
Well, it wasn't embarrassing for me. The mindset was the people that I could have called that were in the position that I felt like probably could help me. I don't think that they were clapping for me.
Oh, okay.
So why would I call you to tell you what I got going on, and I don't believe you're clapping for me? I believe it was underlying competition, and maybe it might not have been because of the church. It might have been more of, just what I was doing in the city, or me preaching and stuff like that. It was just different things. And I can remember going out to Dr. Vernon's, and that's why it's so important to have things that we get ministered to as, and I always told you, even I was like telling you, we got to go to conferences. Like, we are pouring out so much. You get in this position, you need to be poured into. We need to find conferences to go to for pastors. You remember me, and you remember you went with me, and we went to the Gathering of the Shepherds in Cleveland. And I went, it was maybe the second year, and God, I prayed for a first lady friend. I prayed for that. You remember that? Because I needed it. Because, again, because of the topic that we're talking about, we're two besties, same position, different location. I had people that was in the same position, different locations, but I felt like it was competition. So I couldn't go to nobody in the city and talk about what I was going through. And I prayed to God before I went to God, give me a first lady friend. And it was the last day of the event, and God had not given me one. And I was like, wow. And I remember I was up there, they were selling cupcakes. And it was a lady standing up there, and I was like, and when she told me the price of the cupcakes, I said, I'm not finna pay that much for no real velvet cupcake, and it might not even be good. So I said, and I think she said something to me, spoke to me, and I walked out, and I went and sat down, and she came and brought me a cupcake. And she said, my name is Erica Simmons. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And I said, I'm Cicely Hurt. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. And she said, well, can I get your number?
Oh, hey, Erica.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to tell Erica, make sure she watched this one. And I remember, and moving real quickly, I can remember I went through something at my church. And I was riding home, and I was crying so bad. And God told me to call Erica. And at this time, Erica had called me several times but I just hadn't had the time to talk to her. And I said, God, I don't know Erica like that. I don't know her to call her and tell her my business. God said, you might not know her like that, but I know her like that.
That's good.
And I said, call her. And when I tell you she helped me walk through those seasons of my life as being a first lady, that it was just, I didn't feel like people in the city would help me. And, or even if they would help me, I just didn't think they had my best interest at heart.
Oh, wow.
And she helped me walk through that season of being that. So, one of the things is that I just hate, and I just say to anybody that's watching that is in ministry, is that you really have to pray, and you really have to make sure and condition your mind and your heart that this is God's business. Like Pastor Sia said, like my bestie said, this ain't my stuff.
This ain't my
This
stuff.
God's stuff. She was maybe some of you might have thought she was talking about, well, I'm just a co-pastor. This is Pastor Therford's and Darlene Therford's. No, that's not what she's saying. She's saying this God's business. Yeah. This God's house. This God's stuff. And at the end of the day, this is God's responsibility. So no matter what he do, make it big, make it small, make it mini, make it micro, whatever, it ain't on me. And so we have to be mindful of that. And that will stop the spirit of competition among people, because that spirit runs rapid in the body of Christ.
Now, I've always been like this, and I think you could probably testify with this. With my kids, I've never told information for you to tell me yours.
Oh yeah.
I've never been like that. You could sit there and listen to me all day long. If I believe you could get a prayer through, you ain't never got to tell me nothing. You got.
Yeah.
But if I feel that you either got an answer or solution, or you can get a prayer past the ceiling fan, I'm gonna call you.
Yeah.
I'm different than you with that. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna set up a conference call, be like, let me get about 4 people in that I know got good sense.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, and I want you to know what you think, because now, contrary to what you're saying, I know that be true, if that's right. But I also feel like sometimes people will help you more than you believe they will. Mm-hmm. I do. You know what I'm saying? You might not roll with me, but you will help me get something done.
Oh, yeah.
You might not be excited for me, but you might pray for my children. Mm-hmm. And so I've learned to use whatever help I can. Mm-hmm. Being in this role, I think I have pulled on some of the most. I pulled on the most powerful I know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know people that would even probably give me their phone number. That's also, but the numbers I have the best mentor. Dr. Mike Moore. I have the best spiritual father, Pastor Thelford. He cool. His delivery is totally different than mine. Mm-hmm. He's working with me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He told me, I think one day, he said, you might make it. You might make it. And so I tell him all the time, if I make it, it's going to have a lot to do with what you don't pour in me. But I think that's what happens in ministry. And that's the foundation of competition, is when you start seeing these churches as yours. Yeah. When you start saying, now, don't get me wrong and don't get deep. Yes, God expects us to own it. He expects us to own it in the sense of taking care of it with the best of our ability. But you should have the revelation to understand that if you leave tomorrow, you ain't taking this building with you. If you leave tomorrow, I think it's Elijah, you got to put somebody in place to carry the mantle. The mantle is not a souvenir. You know what I'm saying? I think I heard a preacher preach that. It's not a souvenir. You got to put somebody in place. But I think when people get this, and that's what happened, how they get title driven, because they don't jump claim something don't belong to them. Yeah. That, I'm telling you, man, I'm not doing that. I'm only doing what God has called me to do. Anytime he want to modify anything, I'm all right with it. I am so okay with it. You want to make it big, make it big. You want to make it mega, make it mega. If you want to keep it little. Just pay the light bill and let it don't be no struggle. I know that's right. I'm not making ministry like that. I'm going to do the best I can with making sure it do what it need to be. And I'm always want to see my friends.
Absolutely.
I always, when Pastor Gates and Pauletta, my girl, when they got their church, and I think they was doing something, the first service I didn't make it, but somewhere along there I went over there, and it might not have been much, but I was just excited that TPC had a church on the hill. I'm excited for Pastor Dixon. I'm excited for my friend Marie that's operating in big shoes over at Faith Chapel. I'm excited for Lighthouse.
Yeah.
I am excited for Kanata Jones and what they do. I be excited for Lady T
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do whatever I can do
in
the natural to make whatever you doing spiritually flow.
Yeah.
I ain't finna get in that because I ain't trying to work that hard. Ministry work. Everybody trying to work like that.
You're right about it.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that. But do you want some cake before we go?
Even if I didn't.
So y'all, I got to cut the cake. So y'all just act like y'all here and y'all can get some cake.
Act like they're here and they can get some cake.
I am Grandmama Cookie, but if you know anything about me, you know I love sweets. So we gonna cut this and we gonna see what it is.
Oh, okay, so it's strawberry. Yeah, you said that. Okay.
It is strawberry. So we are having a party.
Do you know I thought these were some plastic forks, but I should have known.
No, we wouldn't have no plastic forks. No. We wouldn't have plastic forks with a glass. So we had a party. Y'all got to take the time to celebrate. Celebrate everything. Celebrate everything. What you think?
Mm-hmm. You think? Yeah. That's good. Soft. So, as we wrap this up, right? We want people to enjoy your St. Patrick's Day on tomorrow.
Get you some cake, not beer.
Yeah. And when you think of the Shamrock, think of my Besties shirt. And and as you say your prayer on tomorrow, say your prayer on tomorrow. I'm make sure I do it. See, now that I know it's spiritual, I was just people say what you don't know, it won't hurt you. I beg to differ. What you don't know, it can't hurt you.
Well, that's the Bible.
I didn't.
People perish for a little.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying what people say. But now that I know, Shamrock, one for the Son, one for the Father, one for the Son and Holy Ghost. That is amazing. So tomorrow when I pray, I'm making sure I'm praying the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And you know they say St. Patrick's is luck too. But you know, you remember that's kind of like favor, luck, and all that type of stuff. You know they say that.
That's what
but at the
say,
end of the day, I'm just going to believe God for favor on tomorrow as I pray and that good things happen. I know it will. But,
so let's go to lunch tomorrow and put your green on.
Okay.
And we'll figure out something to do. So I hope you guys really look into the meaning of St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
And I pray that we do as much as we can to protect our spiritual culture.
Yeah.
And our spiritual beliefs and our spiritual religions.
Yeah.
And I pray that no matter what happens and what people do and how people operate, you think twice about allowing the spirit of competition
Absolutely.
To flourish in your ministry. And your ministry don't actually have to be a church.
Yeah.
If you over the usher board, you got to make sure that the ushers ain't in competition with the praise team.
Yep.
Some people are in competition and they in the same ministry. So you just got to make sure you deal with it.
As a preacher, you got to make sure that you ain't in competition with the next preacher.
That's preaching.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you this. I just talked about that last night.
Oh, you did?
What preachers do. This is what they do. They don't know they're in competition, but they're in competition. You ever been preaching and the jokers preaching with you? How they be preaching with you is they sitting there reading the text to see what they can get out of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's competition.
Yeah.
That's the wrong spirit, man.
But that's what we do.
Eating. You ain't
that's
in
what
the
we do.
opportunity to be serving and feeding. You supposed to be eating.
That's what we do.
So we got to make sure that we eliminate all that. But hey, don't forget, like, share, and comment, and subscribe to Besties of Birmingham.
All right.
All right.
Bye,
Besties.
Besties. You was kind of slow this time.
All right.